If you are a life insurance agent and you want to literally learn how to sell and close, everyone, this live sales call is going to do it for you. I'm going to teach you guys. Basically, you're going to watch a sales call that I did with a client who was nearly impossible. She was like, I want to build generational wealth. I already have a policy. And she even at the end told me, can you just mail it to me? I need to think about it. And in this call, I'm going to share with you how I went through, overcame that, and sold a $200 per month policy and helped someone who needed to think about it. This call is guaranteed to help you become a better life insurance agent. This call will teach you how to handle offset situations that are not on your script. But most importantly, at the end, I'm going to break down and give you 3 coaching points that you can learn from this process, that you can learn from this call that will help you instantly become a better life insurance agent. This call started out, I answered the phone at Legacy Family Life, my life insurance agency that I have here with no lead calls and chargebacks. We get inbound calls, and the lady called in. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and transfer you to someone else. And I was like, just building a good relationship. She was like, well, I don't want to speak to you. I really like you. Can I just speak with you? And sure enough, we spoke. She gave me a heck of a time, but I'm going to share with you how I closed her, how I asked her good questions, but most importantly, this is most important here, how I had to change my script to sell her the way that she wanted to be sold, and I'll teach you guys that at the end. Let's go ahead and let's become better life insurance agents. This video is going to help. Cheers.
Well, I got the name for it because I do have a license in life insurance too.
Yeah, they call it like final expense.
Yeah, that's it.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't looking for that type of stuff. I was really looking for something that I could accumulate some type of funds with.
Yeah, like a little bit of cash value or something. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got the 25,000 for like almost 150. What company did they put you? Do you remember the name?
Mass Prudential.
Okay, Prudential. Okay, cool. Good company. Now, what I'm seeing here, so I'm going to make sure this is right for you. We're going to continue. Okay, how we work for you.
I also wanted
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here for
I
you.
wanted to ask you that, are you penalized because you already have insurance? And can you have multiple policies?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great question. I appreciate you asking that. There's no penalty. There's nothing like that. No, you can have people have 4, 5, 6 policies. That's totally okay.
Okay.
Yeah. When it comes to you know, what we do, so I can help you understand more of like our processes. I'll be very simple with you. We work with, you know, over 26 companies, and we just help seniors shop the market and find the cheapest rates. I did tell you there are no medical exams, so there's no doctor coming out, but there are a few questions that they do require I ask you. You're 69 in Texas. What's a good height and weight for you?
5'1". When they came out, they measured 5'2".
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then what is your height and weight? Sorry, your weight. Motivated to start looking around for some like additional life insurance now?
No, the thing is that I already had a policy, I'd say 2 years ago, because I told you that I am licensed also as an insurance agent with an agency called PHP.
PHP, okay.
Helping people. I don't know if you heard of it.
Absolutely. Patrick Bet-David,
and,
yeah.
I went through, I let it lapse.
Uh-huh.
I was with Foresters.
Okay.
I let it lapse, and because I was going through, I had recently had 2 brothers that passed 26 days apart. So after everything now has settled,
yeah,
I'm just trying to get myself recovered.
Back in order.
So that's what Foresters, instead of them letting me reinstate it, they wanted me to just reapply.
Wow. Okay. Gotcha.
So I was coming up out of the passing of the 2 brothers and, you know, grieving. I'm still 8 months down the road and grieving for them. And so I'm at work now. I work for Urban ISD.
Oh, wow.
And up comes through the email is the guy that he helps employees of the school district get inexpensive insurance. So I said, well, let me just speak with him and see what he has to offer. And so that's what I did.
Wow. Yeah. And then you got
reinsured.
Gotcha. So now, first off, Miss Donna, I just want to say I can't express losing 2 siblings. My condolences. Wow. I hope you're doing okay. So sorry you had to go through that. So it sounds like you were with PHP, you understand insurance. You had to let it go. You had a Forester policy, and then you got recently a policy through your school district. Okay, I hear you. Is that about right?
Yeah, I don't still have the Forester policy because I didn't even go through.
Yeah, you had to let it go, right? Yeah. What was the?
But I don't. If I had reapplied, I don't know what would have happened because I didn't go through that step.
Right.
Because of me just not being in the mood to do all that right now.
I hear you. It's a lot on your plate. So you got that $25,000. What is the goal of the life insurance? Why did you even get a policy in place? What do you want to make sure it takes care of for you?
Because I know the importance of being insured, being a licensed agent myself. That upon the time of death, you just need to have some coverage to keep your family from going through a lot. I have a daughter and I have a grandson. Also, I know being a life insurance agency that there are policies where you can accrue, accumulation, IUL, stuff like that. And me being older, I know some of those policies I cannot get. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I like the accumulation of funds in case you want to borrow some money or something like that. So that's my reason.
Gotcha. And what about your current policy? What about your current policy that you got through your current employer? What do you feel like you're not satisfied about with that policy?
I just found out last night, because I called the guys to say, hey, I haven't heard anything. Was that cool? Because I had to fill out the medical form. I just had to fill that out after everything and send it in. They did have somebody come out to my house, and after that, they just had some questions about my mother, father, sister, brothers, medical.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
I haven't really heard anything, so I just called him back to say, hey, was I approved? Was I not? He said, yeah. He said, I was getting ready to let you know you were approved.
Okay.
So they're in my email. I haven't gone to sign anything yet. I haven't signed, as I said, I haven't signed anything.
Oh, okay. What do you think? Okay, gotcha. So you kind of figured out, you just got the policy. Why do you think you've kind of been holding off on that signature? Do you just looking for,
I just found out last night. I'm at work right now, and when you work in special education, I'm a speech language pathology.
Oh, wow.
It keeps you busy all day long.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
Unless I stop like I'm doing now, I'm still working as I talk to you. But, and it's Friday, so I kind of give myself some leeway.
Good.
Unless I stop and just say, hey, I got to take care of myself. I got to do something for myself.
I hear you.
There's no time to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
24/7.
Wow.
School is out in about 2 weeks, so I have more time for myself. But I have goals within the next 5 years where I'm going to come on out and work for myself.
I can hear it. Yeah.
I'm thinking forward.
Yeah, I can hear it in your voice. You're hardworking. You just never let the gas off the pedal, and you're a go-getter. Now, when it comes to your insurance policy, would it be helpful to maybe find a policy that could save you money? Is that kind of what you're looking for? Would that be helpful for you?
Well, if I can find a policy that will give me more coverage.
Yeah.
Okay. A higher amount of coverage, and also I can accumulate, money where I could be my home bank, borrow if I need.
Sure.
That would be great.
Okay. Yeah. I'll shoot you straight here, Miss Donna, because a lot of the stuff out there where you see you can be your own bank and all that stuff. A lot of that, I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of that is it's a lot of smoke and mirrors where you can accumulate all this cash, but they don't tell you that you lose your death benefit and all this stuff. So, if it's okay with...
I already know it comes out of your death benefit with me being licensed.
Good. Yeah. Okay. Well, and then ultimately, were you worried also about after losing your 2 siblings, would you say that you want to have something at least for maybe making sure your daughter's not stuck with your burial expenses? Is that also important to you?
I just think everybody should be covered. You don't know what'll happen.
I hear you. So everyone should be covered. And are there any other bills, debts that you're worried about leaving behind to your daughter?
No, I don't have a lot of bills.
Good. You really set yourself up well, I can tell. Now, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. It just sounds like as a mother, you just want to make sure something happens to you. Your daughter's not going through what you had to go through with your two siblings. You want to make sure she's taken care of. You can get a policy that's going to maybe accumulate a little bit of cash value, and you want something that if you can get more coverage and save money, that's really what you're looking for. Have I left anything out?
Well, they had coverage, my brothers did.
No, I'm saying for you, you're just trying to make sure that if you can get a little extra coverage for what you're... Okay. Good.
I'm just trying to make sure life insurance in place. Yes.
Good. Well, everything's loading up here. It actually looks really good here. We're going to get to the numbers here. I just want to make sure we do work with people, I don't know, like on Social Security, retiring, or on disability. If I could, potentially find you something that's like more affordable, would there be anything like holding you back from even seeing if you can get like approved?
Well, I'm still working full time, so I'm not on Social Security and all that.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And I'm assuming you get paid, you have a checking account, so I'll add this discount on, it's 10%, so I'll click that box. Now, what we're gonna be looking at today, Miss Donna, you let me know if this is what you want, okay? It's gonna be whole life insurance. Something, where that monthly payment's never gonna go up on you. The coverage will never go down, and it's going to be there for your whole entire life so that you can go to bed at night knowing that your family is taken care of. Is that kind of what you're looking for, Miss Donna?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. So I plugged in all your information here.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I plugged in all your information. It's the whole life. It does accumulate a little bit of cash value as well for you. I plugged in all your information. It shows that you're eligible for the best option statewide out of all 26 companies. And it's with a company, I'm not sure if you heard of them before, a company called Mutual of Omaha. Have you heard of those guys before?
Yeah, I'm so active with that's who we worked a lot with, Mutual of Omaha.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, I forgot you're licensed, so you probably heard of them. So the good news is here, I mean, you probably know this, but they've been in business since 1909. They're A-rated with the state. Just a really well-known established company, and they're also back with an A+ rating. So just a well-known established company, kind of like Forrester's as well. Good news with you too.
Yeah.
They're also a company that will not make you wait 2 years, which is an absolute blessing. So if something happened to you tomorrow, you're going to get that policy payout within 24 to 48 hours, your daughter would, and ultimately they're not going to have that 2-year waiting period. Do you see how important that is for you?
Yeah. So my question is, when I was more active than what I am now, they did take people through medical exams. You saying that I don't have to go through a medical?
Correct. Yeah.
It's
a simplified issue policy is what they're called. So basically, they just make you we just ask a few medical questions on the application. They do the prescription check live, and then they'll literally tell us on the spot if you've been approved or not. And then if you're approved, they'll issue you a policy and give you a policy right on the spot.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So really simple process now. They've really changed it, I believe, over the years.
So how much is that one?
Yeah. So they have three.
How much is that one?
Great question. They have 3 options. We can really go up, down, or sideways based off your budget and your needs. The first option that they recommend is what's called the starter program. This is the $25,000 option, kind of like what you have now. That $25,000 option would be just basic, kind of what you have, cover the expenses, leave money a little bit to your daughter, but a little bit of value for her. I think you said you're paying about $150 for your $25,000. This $25,000 with no waiting period and no physical medical exam comes out to $122 per month. Okay.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, that's the 25. If you want to write that down. The next one is the 35,000. We can kind of adjust it. The 35,000, if you want to leave really all that coverage behind, make sure your daughter's taken care of. It's a few dollars more than what you're paying right now, but you'd get an extra about 10,000 of coverage. The 35,000, if we can even, excuse me, if we get you approved, the 35,000 will be $169.83 a month.
Oh, that's going up.
And then if you wanted something that's just like right on line with what you're paying right now, so you're paying like $146, you said?
About $148, $150, yeah.
Yeah, so you could get you could get let's see here, you can get $31,000 of coverage right at $150. So you could get an extra $6,000 of coverage for what you're paying right now for the same price. That would be $150.78 a month. Okay.
You said how much coverage was that?
Yeah, that's for $31,000. Okay. So for
That's for how much?
For $31,000 of whole life for $150.78.
Okay, you said $50.78.
$150.
Okay.
So just to clarify, you'd get $31,000 of coverage for $150.78 per month.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And how does the cash accumulation, if any, work with these?
Yeah, so when it comes to whole life insurance, there's, the death benefit is always the priority there. Basically accumulates over like the years. It's not a policy like an index universal life policy where you want to overfund it and build a cash value, like a cash bucket. Basically, yeah, it's more of a simple whole life. Every year you'll have a few $100s probably like accumulate, and then you can borrow against it long term down the road. Does that make sense for you?
Every year it'll be about $200 that would accrue, you said?
Probably a little bit more. When you get into year 5, you'll have, typically after 5 to 10 years, you'll have a good $1,000 or so is what I would project. In your policy, there would be a table that would see it, but it's a few $100s a year is what I would project. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Now, really the biggest challenge, I know this would be saving you money, would be seeing if they, how it works with life insurance, if they would qualify you or approve you. But you kind of fill me in, thinking of, of your daughter and making sure that you're in a better position. Did you feel like we should go with the $25,000 or the $31,000? What would give you the most peace of mind?
Well, I would go with if I had only that policy,
yeah,
and not the other one that I just been approved for, and I'm gonna compare the two. I really don't want to pay $300 worth of life insurance.
Oh yeah.
Out of my monthly, But if I chose to go this way, if this policy is better than the one that I have, then I would take the $31,000 because you said that's $150.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am. $150.78.
It's about the same amount for a little bit more cover.
Yeah. Why do you feel like that would be a better policy for you? You think
I don't know if it's a better policy until I compare the two, but I'm looking at the monthly cost.
Okay, gotcha.
Because the other one is supposed to let me accrue cash. Mm-hmm. I just have to compare the two and see which one would let me accrue more in the rate of accruing it.
Yeah. So your goal, you're not really so worried about the life insurance bucket. You're more worried about the cash accumulation bucket?
That's a concern, both of them.
Okay.
Both of
them. And when it comes to that cash...
It's important to me.
Yeah. When it comes to that cash accumulation, why is that so important to you?
Because I'm all about building wealth. And for the other things that I'm doing in the next 5 years or so and afterwards, I plan to live to 100.
Yeah.
So if I'm leaving...
So you might be wondering, how did this sales call end? Well, it ended with a $41,000 simply whole life insurance policy for under $200, $198 and some 98 cents, and we sold this lady a policy. Now, this was an incredible call, but I want to share with you 3 things that I learned that you can take away, 3 coaching lessons that will help you in your journey. And as you guys know, we sat there in objection handling for a while. She kept on saying, well, I need to think about it, send it to me in the mail, and I took a different approach. I knew that she wanted a policy. She couldn't get an IUL. She doesn't make a ton of money, and she was looking on all these IUL websites, and there's nothing against IULs where you can max fund it, build generation wealth, be your own bank. And for someone who's making $3,000 to $4,000 a month, who can't afford their normal bills living wise, an IUL is not going to help solve her problem. And I had to help her get out of her own way to understand that. So what I want to share with you, the first lesson that's so important when you're selling, if you want to sell at a high level, is number one, you have to change your process due to the situation. Okay, what I was put down here is you have to change your discovery. The way that I sell you, someone who is looking for a whole life insurance policy, who doesn't have anything in place right now and they just want to cover their burial expenses, that process is going to be different than someone who wants to make sure that they can leave money behind to their daughter. That sales process, that sales call is going to sound different than someone who wants to go ahead and leave a little I love you gift to their, their kids. This is why your discovery and your script has to adapt. I teach a process called you have to become a chameleon. You have to adapt to your environment. And sometimes the canvas change, meaning that your people change. The people that you're speaking to, they're either type A or they're type B. Type A meaning aggressive, get to the point. Type B more nurturing, more relationship building. So you have to understand what your environment is, what your canvas is. And in this place, the value proposition changed. This lady already had a life insurance policy. She got a $25,000 policy for around $150. So do you think that I needed to resell her on the concept of life insurance? She was an independent agent once. She understood life insurance. She also had 2 previous policies in the past with a company called Foresters. So this lady already knew about life insurance, and most importantly, she valued life insurance. And she just almost signed up for a life insurance policy, a few days ago at her school district. So I didn't have to reconvince her on why she needs life insurance. Instead, I needed to understand very well, be a great active listener. You can see how I mirror her, and just ask basic questions. What are you looking for? What is this going to accomplish? Why is this so important to you? And ultimately, if I could find you something that's cheaper, that could save you some more money and get you more coverage, would that be helpful for you? And she said yes, meaning that I established a ton of value for her, and then basically made it a no-brainer offer. But she still needed to think about it. And why did she still need to think about it? Second thing I want to share with you guys is that nearly all good buyers have objections. It's hard to make a commitment over the phone with someone that you don't know. And instead of kind of backing away, I walked her through the process. You didn't really hear it much. My camera died, but I want to share with you kind of what that looked like. Objections don't mean no. They just mean concerns. So when you hear objections, you just have to think in my mind, this lady has some concerns. Now, what a lot of agents do that don't help is that they try to force them, well, what do you mean you don't know? Why would you not want a policy that's going to save you money? Check this out. This lady was saying that she didn't want to save money on a policy. That makes no sense, right? But she had some genuine concerns. Now, her concerns were not the price. Her concerns were not the coverage amount. Her concerns and her thought was, I wanted to compare the options to see which one's going to help me build generational wealth. So the true objection was, hey, I want to get a policy that I think is going to build wealth for me. So what did I do is I just asked her questions. Well, Miss Betty, do you feel like you can overfund an index universal whole life policy $500, $900, $800 when you get older that's going to allow you to build that cash accumulation? No, I'm not. What are you going to have to do if you can't pay for it? Let's say you don't have the $800, $900 to build this max funding, to build generational wealth. What would you have to do? I'd have to cancel it. Would you want to get a policy that's going to cancel on you, Miss Betty? No. And what would that do to your kids? So instead of me trying to attack her and try to prove her wrong and say, Miss Betty, you can't afford that, right? I just asked questions where she realized that she was trying to bite off more than she can chew. And ultimately, at the end of the day, she just had basic whole life insurance policies. She's never heard of it, really had an index universal. She doesn't really know how it works. She doesn't have the income to support it. She doesn't have the cash value that she can take out. Yes, whole life's built a little bit of cash value, but it's nothing sexy. It's nothing fancy. And I helped her realize that. And I said, hey, Miss Betty, do you want a policy that's going to make you rich, that you have to put thousands of dollars in? Are you trying to get rich, or you just want something to protect your family? And she said, well, I just want to go ahead and protect my family. And I said, do you think this option is going to solve your problem? And she said, yes, it will. And we move forward. Okay. Now, how do we move forward? She told me that she was at work. She got a ticket at work. So she's like, hey, call me at 4:00. Okay. I was like, all right, well, I'm just trying to help you. So I set a simple appointment. All I did is I set a simple appointment. I said, all right, let's call you at 5 o'clock Eastern. 5 o'clock Central. I said, I got you all ready. We're going to go ahead and do the application. And she was all for it. And 30 minutes before appointment time, we got on our phone, and we did the application. And I wasn't rushing. I was like, no, we have to do this right now. The reason being, it was a $200 per month policy. A lot of chargeback risk there. And I was like, well, if this is what you want, call me back. She called me back, and we got the policy wrapped up. So just want to make sure that you guys are aware. And then you just have to understand that objections are not a no. You just have to peel them back. It's not that they don't want it. It's typically because they have some concerns, but are you addressing the right concerns? Okay. The last thing is that you don't want to act like you need the sale. What I've learned from this call is that there was many times where she was like, especially when we were doing the application that you don't see on this footage, is she was like, I'm driving right now. I can't give you my account information. I spent an hour with her already. I'm like, no. I could tell she's not driving. I said, well, okay, pull over and go ahead and get your account information. She's like, well, can I call you back? And I was like, no. I'm just trying to help you here. So throughout the process, don't need the sale is more about who are you here to help? Are you here to help yourself, or are you here to help them? Throughout my discovery, I'm never telling them thank you. Oh my gosh, yes, good. I'm never salesy. I'm just like, okay, I'm just here to help you. I'm here to help your family. Yeah, what option are you going to go with? I don't know. I need to think about it. Well, I'm just here to help you. Do you want to go with the 10,000 or the 25,000? When you are selling, people can sniff out your BS. People can sniff out when you're money hungry, especially if you're selling a situation like this where a lady was an insurance agent before. She knows the commission that I should receive on a policy like this. She knows that if I am going to sound a little desperate, all right, come on, let's do it. All right, go ahead and get it. Come on, Betty, we're almost done. And we're like pressuring her and we're making her feel uncomfortable. She's not going to want to move forward no matter how good the policy is. So the question that you need to ask yourself if you're a sales agent is, how do you make people feel when you're buying? Are you needy? Are you keeping their guard down? Are you building a strong relationship? Are you asking questions that don't piss them off? And these are all skills that you can develop that will help you become a top agent, but it takes reps, it takes no's, it takes doing, it takes practicing, and it takes studying. And if you can learn this, you can literally become a top 1% life insurance agent and literally sell anyone. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.